Alrighty, the red button is on. Yes, I've got to make sure. Okay, here we go. Always going to be worried when the red button's on, but it is happening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ready Bang Predictions Show. That's right, myself and my co-host today are going to look in the crystal ball of arm wrestling and tell all of you arm wrestling fanatics who to bet on in some upcoming stellar super matches. This is going to be a two-part special, but of course, let me introduce what I call my arm wrestling best friend. This man is the inventor of the Arm PR show, which has taken off like wildfire. You either love this or you hate it. He was the inventor of YouTube Live. With all the live streams that are going on, you turn to this man here, and he was the OG of the live streams. That's how I got on to meet this gentleman. He is coming in all the way from Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Uncle John. Uncle John, welcome to the Prediction Show.
Thank you, brother. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited.
I'm always excited when you and I catch up. A bit of context, people. It's about 10:30, quarter to 11 at night over there in Uncle John's town. We were supposed to start about 40 minutes earlier, but when Uncle John and I get together, we cannot stop talking. And this is what will probably happen in our two-part prediction show. We've got four in episode one of the prediction show. We've got four massive matches. Now, before we get onto that, Uncle John, just give everyone a bit of an update. What is going on with you?
Man, I'll tell you what, we're busy, and I think it's a most of the busyness, most of the bubbling in the arm wrestling community is really Michael Todd and Devon Larratt, right? It's the match we've been waiting for so long, over a year at this point in time, since it was originally scheduled to happen. And now that we're within like 10 days or something now. It's like the fever pitch, and I can feel everyone bubbling. And so, I've talked to Devon, and I've had some interactions with Michael, and that's really pushing us forward. So I'm really excited for that. I think it's going to be good. We'll talk about it tonight. But as far as Uncle John goes, it's all going really well. I mean, here in Canada, we're in major restriction mode. I get fined $2,000 if I leave my community. If I get found outside of my city, fined $2,000. So everything has been canceled. I was cutting weight to get to 176. I had to stop that. Now I'm just hanging out at 190. So my diet has been weird, but I keep on training. I'm feeling good. And I hope I can arm wrestle again sometime before the end of the year. Really hope I can.
$2,000. That is ridiculous. Canada has lost the plot. It was a bit like that maybe 5 or 6 months ago here in Melbourne. It's very ironic that you can't go anywhere, but in the arm wrestling world, you are everywhere, guys. Everyone that supports the Aussie arm wrestling, if you haven't already, this guy is on everything. He's on Arm TV every week, which the Aussie Arm Wrestler will join him tomorrow. He has his own show, Arm Wrestling After Dark, depending where you are in the world. That comes on. He does live streams every week. Everyone wants a slice of Uncle John, and that's why I'm very excited to get Uncle John in the prediction show. So make sure you go over after you've liked, shared, and subscribed and done all the things to help the Aussie Arm Wrestler. Go over to Uncle John's. Now, too bad you are stuck, mate, because I could have challenged you or let you had a crack at this, but unfortunately, I'll win this match on forfeit. But everyone knows I am the 2019 Left Arm Amateur Melbourne Cup 80 to 95 kilo place getter, the most sorted trophy afterwards. If anyone's got a prediction on who I should pull or allow them to pull me for that trophy, drop it in the comments. But guys, we are going through 4 massive matches in part 1. So we are going to go through Chant Shaw versus Ron Barth, an upcoming super match that I personally am very excited about. Second match we're going to go through. It's been deemed the King of California. It's Derek Smith versus the returning Tom Nelson. And then, of course, the two mega matches in Dubai that Uncle John mentioned earlier that we've all been counting down the days. Hopefully, they're already on a plane flying over to Dubai. We have Larry Wheels versus Schoolboy and Devon versus the monster Michael Todd. If your balls or clitorises aren't tingling at the moment, they really should be. Things are excited. Out of those four matches, Uncle John, which one are you most excited about?
Well, I mean, you kind of, it's hard not to say Michael and Devon just because it's been cooking for so long. But honestly, I am very excited for Chance Shaw and Ron Bath. Honestly, I've talked to both of those guys on live streams in the last month, and both of them are really my perspective of both of them changed wildly once I spoke to them both in person, to tell you the truth. And that has just meeting them both has really got me excited about that match.
And that is the match we are going to roll into first up. So this match is happening, I believe all matches are going to be a right arm super match, and let's just pretend they are all the best of five. So first up, we've got it. You call him an up-and-comer, but Chad Shaw has been around for quite a long time. He has the beautiful, colourful shirts and the big binoculars, doing his best impression of Jeff Hale. And then you are taking on the original gangster. Basically, he was always the bridesmaid to John Brasink in my man, Ron Bubble Bath. Uncle John, how do you see this match going?
Look, I'm so torn about this match because I was like Ron Bath. It's hard to go against Ron Bath, right? The guy's pedigree is second to probably John Brasink, and that's about it, right? Ron Bath, he just had a match with Chupakayev something from Armenia at the Kenny Bostic Memorial Tournament, left and right-handed, and he looked phenomenal. He looked amazing. I interviewed him the night before, and like Ron Bath, as he ages, he seems to have found not only youth in his body, but he just seems like he's having so much goddamn fun.
I think I know the answer. Which is swaying my answer, because those interviews you had, Justin Bishop, those interviews were fantastic. That show, Cobra Rhodes. But what is I did a podcast recently with Angie Rose. And for those that know, she is the shower to Ron Bath. And but she has been allowed to stay in the United States. She's a Canadian like yourself. So when a man is in love, and he's able to get that love on a regular basis, because they were doing the long distance thing, and Ron was probably still sending memos when he didn't really need to, with email and FaceTime and things like that. I think the love of a woman is so powerful. I'm going with Ron Bath. I'm going with Ron Bath on this one. I think the power of Angie Rose and the regular, it's almost like a brand new relationship, and the butterflies in the stomach, and he just wants to show off because she's there with him at live events. For that alone, I'm going Ron Bath.
It's like I said, it's hard to go against that. But let me argue the other point a little bit. I didn't know Chance Shaw at all, and when you just look at Chance Shaw, you're kind of like, what is this guy like? This guy who thinks he's tough, but he's like a kid. And he came on the show, and I was just so impressed with his dedication to the game, his dedication to the sport in general, his knowledge of the sport, his respect for guys like Ron Bath, but also having that dedication and that mindset of going out and proving that, yes, he's young. Yes, he doesn't have 40 years in the game, But he's proven in the last several months in some of these matches that he's not someone to be taken lightly. And I think that he will definitely test Ron Bath.
Absolutely.
Now, the big question is, and this is a question that Gary Roberts asks me on almost a weekly basis. He's like, how is it that the guys, when Gary left 7, 8, 9 years ago, all those guys are still top guys now, including Ron Bath? And at some point, it's got to break. My question is it going to break with Chance Shaw?
Ooh.
I think it's possible. I think it's may not be likely, but I am going to go with the young stud. I am going to go with Chance Shaw in this
I did
match.
not see that coming.
Look, it's going to be very, very close either way. But I really think that Chance Shaw has enough ability to give Ron all he can handle. And I can't wait for it. This is one of the most exciting matches. I'm almost as excited for this match as I am Michael and Devon. Because it really could represent I don't know if I want to say this or not, but a passing of a torch.
Yeah!
It could be a passing of a torch. It could happen. And that excites me. It excites me a lot. And I don't think it would be like, oh, Ron Bath, he's out of the game now. Ron Bath is going to be kicking ass until he's got 2 feet in the grave, okay? Don't even second guess that. But this is a huge opportunity for a guy like Chance Shaw.
Oh, absolutely. And Ron Bath will build an arm wrestling table on his Zimmer frame when he's like 98, still pinning blokes. And yeah, I believe Chance has got a pin on Ron in a tournament format.
Yeah.
So there's belief in Chance. He thinks he's got a chance. Thinks he's a sure thing. It's going to be, it's very exciting. And I think that's probably the best term that you put it. And so, for me, it comes down to endurance. I think if Ron can hold on and just burn Chance off early and give up a round, maybe not 2 rounds. Chance is too good and too smart to not give up a 2-0 lead, in my opinion. But I think if Ron can bleed him out round 1s and 2s and at least be 50-50, that's why I'm leaning over to Ron. And plus, he's getting it on a regular basis. That always helps. He's very happy. So, yeah.
Well, look, the one thing that does make me pause is I talked to Ron just a little bit about what it's like, being, continuing on as he gets older and facing all these young guys. And when I asked him about facing young guys, he looked at me with the most piercing eyes, and he's just like, no, I don't want. It's like he's not willing. He's not ready to let any of it go, right? It's not like he's ready to go. He's like, I'm just going to keep going as long as I possibly can. And I believe in my heart that he absolutely means that. But I'm still going to roll the dice. I'm going with Chance Shaw on this one.
That's what we want. That's good. That's the way I like it. Everyone that is watching, get your predictions down. I'm going 3-1 to the bubble bath. I think it's just going to be too much foam for Chance Shaw. I think that's the way it's going to roll. 3-1. Everyone that's watching also, get all your predictions in the comments. I love hearing. Tell me why I'm wrong. Or tell me why you agree with me. Or tell me why Uncle John's wrong. Or tell me why
100%.
Uncle John is 100% on the money. That's the way we want it. I'm going 3-1. Have you got a score for us, Uncle John?
Well, if it's best of 5, I would go 3-2. I do think it will be close. It will be very, very close.
And it's just going to be an inside hook. That's all this match is going to be. And that's what's going to make it entertaining because, as we know, hooking just looks a lot more better than 2 people trying to outside top roll. That's two people stuck in the middle of the table. It's if Chance gets the jump, he pins him. But yeah, I'm all about bubble bath. I'm going a bit nostalgic on this one. So there it is. I'm going 3-2 Ron Bath. Uncle John's going... No, I'm going 3-1 Ron Bath. Uncle John's going 3-2 Chance Shaw. Beautiful. Now, I had to double check for this next match. I had to double check because I didn't realise that this was happening. There was a bit of banter going on and a bit of whinging going on the internet, believe it or not, Uncle John. A bit of sooking in the arm wrestling world about who was number one in California in the heavyweight division. So, old school, it was Tom Nelson. Now, for those that aren't familiar
we're
with
talking
Tom,
left hand with this match, right?
I believe so. So because back in the day, for those that don't know, Tom Nelson competed in WAL, and he was also on the Game of Arms TV show, which I've got to recently watch about 6 months ago. It's pretty. So that's as much as I've seen as Tom Nelson. But the current California champion is our good friend Derek Smith.
Yeah.
There was a bit of back and forth going on. Tom's under the impression to be the man, you got to beat the man, which is something that I am huge on. But then if you haven't competed in quite a long time, how long until,
Well, so I was actually quite happy that we got some extra data this weekend, right? Because the last time I know of Tom Nelson competing in a super match was against Robbie Topi, which was like at least a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, right? And Tom got beat fairly convincingly by Robbie. Derek Smith pulled Robbie at least one time left-handed at the Kenny Bostic, and he got beat by Robbie fairly convincingly. Now, there's a big difference between super matches and tournaments, and I don't know what had happened before that match with Derek, and I haven't talked to Derek about it at this point in time. But that made the match more interesting for me, knowing that there's both of the guys had lost to a guy like Robbie Topi. It's interesting. I mean, obviously, Derek Smith has a big-time weight advantage, right? Because Tom Nelson, I got to imagine, is maybe like 242-ish. Maybe. I don't know what his actual weight is.
At a stretch. Tom, if you're watching, let us know how much you're weighing, or anyone close to Mr. Nelson. Yeah, I can't see it being any more than that.
Yeah. And then Derek Smith, I believe, is at least 340 at this point in time.
He's a big guy.
Somewhere in there. Like, I get, every time I see Derek at a table with someone else that I know, I always get a greater appreciation for exactly how humongous he is. He is a giant human.
Because he's 6'8", isn't he? 6'8", 6'9"?
Yeah, something like that. Something. I don't know if how tall he is exactly, but absolutely massive individual. And so the question will be, will Derek be able to use that to his advantage? I know that Derek has a big fire. Ever since he went to Dubai, I think that really lit a fire underneath him. He talks a lot about how he's increased his training, how he's doing everything he can, because he's our age, right? I think he's 35-ish, somewhere in there, and he's like, look, this is the time from 35 to 45, right? Like that's kind of prime time at this point in North America, anyways. So whatever it is that he's doing, I think he is pushing as hard as he can. Tom, I don't know how old Tom is. I think he's probably in the early-ish 40s somewhere. Yeah. So, but Tom has experience, right? Tom has a lot of experience. He's been in big-time matches, especially left-handed. So it's this real interesting dynamic between kind of size and power versus kind of this experience, and going against Tom Nelson is a complete mind screw as well, right? Because Tom Nelson is just when it comes to arm wrestling, he becomes an insane person sometimes, right? And he uses that to his advantage.
And we'll say horrible things about you and your family to get that advantage. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for this match. At the end of the day, I have to go with my man Derek Smith. Totally biased, and I don't care. But I will choose my man Derek Smith to go over in this match. I think he'll have the power. I think I really always get a great deal of information from Derek when he talks about the finer points of arm wrestling and how he sees arm wrestling as a sport. So I think he really has that tuned down. And I'll go Derek, and I'll go 3-1. Derek.
3-1. So Tom's getting a round in. Wow.
And it will be early. If Tom wins one, I think it'll be early.
It'll be early. Okay. Do you want me to annoy a lot of people on the internet, Uncle John? You want me to annoy people? I can annoy people.
Do.
Let me
Please
do it.
do.
Derek Smith wins easy.
Easy. Oh, man.
Derek Smith, I'm calling it. Tell me how I'm wrong, everyone. Derek Smith wins 3-0 in this one. I see it coming on Derek's side of the table, and he's just going to lean over. To have a 100-pound advantage, and the intricacies of how Derek pulls and how he's wanting to improve. Tom's no slouch. Let's get that out there. Tom Nelson is no slouch. A phenomenal puller a while ago. Now, and I think due to lack of footage and lack of competition of seeing Tom pull, this is where my vote goes into and leans over Derek Smith. I'm seeing Derek Smith a lot more, and he just wants to learn and wants to get better. And I think because of the height advantage, and I think of the weight advantage, I think he just comes in, and it wouldn't surprise me, just leans on his wrist and just presses down and comes across. I think Derek knows what he has to do. I think the lead up to this match, I think Tom will rely on what he knows, and he'll just focus on him, where Derek will be studying. And he'll look at tapes, and he'll be interested to see how Tom Nelson pulls, and he'll be trying different ways, and he'll get people on the table, right, Tom likes to come in here, and he likes to hit outside at this point, and Derek will try, and he'll try not to overcomplicate it. But I think he wins easy. 3-0.
It's not out of the realm of possibility. Not out of the realm of possibility at all.
3-0. I'm calling it. I have to call it 3-0. That's how it's going. It's going. I'm excited. It'll be a really good match. And with these prediction videos, everyone, before you get too upset, as you can see, Uncle John and I are just having fun. I mean, we're going into our crystal ball. But now these next two matches, I think what everyone is getting excited for. I think it's going to be 3 a.m. in the morning here in Australia when the live stream starts on Core Sports. Guys, just buy the pay-per-view. It is cheap as chips, and it'll be a great move forward in the sport of arm wrestling. We have a pay-per-view. And if everyone can get on and buy it, then all of these big sponsors will be more than likely to do more of these. Larry Wheels will be more than likely to promote more of these sports. So dive into your pockets and buy them. And I got the early bird price because I'm an Australian trying to make it in the arm wrestling world. Not much money here.
Yeah. But I think even now it's only like $8 or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cheap.
Oh, absolutely. Just buy one less beer for the week or 2 less coffees, and you'll be fine. And buy the pay-per-view. I'm thinking of doing a live stream or live reactions while the match is going on. I think that'll be a lot of fun because I just want to chat to people at 3 a.m. while it's happening. So I think by doing watching all those wrestling channels, I think has given me the idea of doing. I've never done one before, so I'll have these two matches, and I'll just chat to everyone. I think it'll be really good. But the first match is Larry Wheels versus Schoolboy.
Yep.
Now they had a super match on the left hand, and we all expected what was expecting, and Schoolboy rolled over him. Now Coach Ray has been over there. Shout out to Coach Ray, huge supporter of what you and I do, Uncle John. He's spending a lot of time with him. My question to you, Uncle John, is it enough time to change the result?
Well, the smart money says probably not. But you can't deny the fact that Larry looks really good. He looks really, really good. He looks very strong. But the same thing that has been holding me back on really getting on board the Larry train, it's the same thing that's been holding me back for the last 2 years. And it's the fact that we have not seen him in a lot of quote unquote real matches, right? Every time we see him, it's like in the gym. And even when he's going a serious match in the gym, I guarantee you it's not the same thing as when you've got Bill Collins up there and the cameras are on and there's, an audience there cheering you on and you know that Devon and Michael are there. It's different, right? Different types of things happen. Your body physiologically reacts differently to that. Now, I understand Larry has done a lot of things in front of a lot of people before. But that is the number one thing holding me back. That Schoolboy has so much more experience in tournament format, in Supermatch format, in just pulling in general at actual events. That's what's going to put him over the top. Now, give Larry another year and a COVID-free year where he can travel all over and do live tournaments. Then that might change. But until that changes, I have to go with Schoolboy. And I think the smart money goes with Schoolboy.
The smart money goes with Schoolboy, and I'll be picking Schoolboy as well. I love the dedication that Larry is doing for our sport. I love the promoting that Larry is doing for our sport. The guy is ridiculously strong, like muscles on top of muscles and then on top of them. For me, and we've all been there in the ready goes, you can have all the knowledge in the world. What will make the difference in this match is how Larry reacts in a losing position. Does he go into panic mode? Does he? Because all the time you get there and you lose the start. Whereas, Uncle John, you can get yourself in a nice, comfortable position in a losing position and work your way back and then end up winning the match. We see it all the time. Will Larry go straight into a separation uppercut and wanting to just hold on? That's for me, will separate because he's got one of, if not the best coach in the world, Coach Ray, telling him everything he needs to do. His ready goes are against other gym junkies. That doesn't count. You see him in the videos and he has his friends turn up. He knows he's going to win that. So his ready goes are him winning. What happens when he's in a losing position? How he reacts then? I think Schoolboy wins. I think he wins convincingly still. Not overly sold, because you've still got to include the fact of the insane strength that Larry Wheels, that Larry has. I mean, you think about it. Anytime you guys come to your club, Uncle John, I'm not sure it happens to you. It happens to my club all the time. I've been training on and off now for 2.5 years, and I have table smart. But then we have these bodybuilders that are coming over, these strength lifters that are coming over, and then they're pitting me. And it's like, so what level of strength does Larry need to get into to just overpower Schoolboy?
Let's say we give Larry in my opinion, the best benefit of the doubt. And he has reached a level where he is able to use all of the power that he has. I could see Larry taking a couple matches. But the other thing we have to think about is this is a best of 6 situation, possibly going to an overtime 7th match. Now, let's say Larry comes out and he is an absolute bulldozer and he beats Schoolboy in 2 matches. I would be shocked if Larry can maintain that power over more than 2 matches, right? Because I guarantee you, if he does it once, it will set the world on fire. Honestly, I hope he does do that, because it will show the world how amazing of an athlete he actually is. So I really hope he does do that, at least in 1 match. But I have to imagine after 1 match, after 2 matches, Schoolboy will have at least slowed him down enough. He will put enough pressure on that arm of Larry Wheels to blow him up. And then that's a whole other game altogether.
Could you imagine the intake of people that come into the sport if Larry can get one pin. He doesn't even have to win. If Larry can get one pin, then there will be so many people that watch Larry's show for weightlifting and strength training that will enter the sport of arm wrestling. This could be huge. On one end, it could be absolutely massive for the sport of arm wrestling if Larry takes a pin. But how detrimental will it be to arm wrestling TV if Larry takes a pin?
I don't know.
Will it hurt their arm wrestling TV's credentials? With a pin, not too sure. I mean, he's a super strong dude, and Schoolboy's like 13 years old. But then it's more what happens if Larry won the match.
Well, it really is a matter of sussing through the data, right? Because different people view this match very differently, right? You and I, who are kind of entrenched in arm wrestling, we kind of understand the situation. We understand that Schoolboy is not the best arm wrestler on the planet, which a lot of people think he is the best arm wrestler on the planet because they don't understand. But then you have other people who are going to watch this match and they're going to be like, well, this Schoolboy kid, he just looks like a kid. Larry Wheels looks like the strongest human that's ever walked on the face of this earth. Of course Larry is going to win. So there's a lot of variability into, like, if Schoolboy wins, you're going to have some people that think one thing or the other, and vice versa for Larry. So I do think for arm wrestling as a whole, it's probably better if Larry won, right? Because so many people in the strength community are going to be like, well, look at this. Larry is super strong, but he dedicated to arm wrestling for like a year because that's really when it's been hot on his channel. And say, well, if I could get that good in a year, arm wrestling is something I'd like to try out. And I mean, for me, that's what this is all about. It's about reaching out to people who are maybe on the fence about trying arm wrestling or who maybe weren't thinking about trying arm wrestling, but then they see this and they're like, well, I'm strong as hell too. I'm going to get into this because Larry just shocked the world. And he beat a real arm wrestler.
And I think not only will it benefit Larry, I will lean over and throw it out there and say it may actually benefit arm wrestling TV if Larry wins. Because if Larry wins, what will everyone want to see that are Schoolboy fans? They want to see a rematch.
Yep.
And that's where arm wrestling TV will come. That's fine. Core Sports might not do another pay-per-view. So then he'll do a deal with arm wrestling TV. And you look at last time when they went over there. Millions and millions of views and things like that. So I think they're both in a pretty good position. Alex Top Roll's not an idiot. So he would have looked at all the variables and he would have looked at if his brother lost. He's not dumb. The guy is making tens of $1,000s a month off arm wrestling, believe it or not. So he would have looked at all the variables. But I still think it's 5-1, 6-0 Schoolboy. And it sounds like he's going to roll through him, but I think I'm on the same page as you. I think Larry can just explode and maybe surprise him. But then the smarts, hitting the fingers, getting Larry in a panic mode, and the wheels will fall off, and Larry will be tired, and that's how.
I'm going to give Larry the benefit of the doubt. I am going with Schoolboy, but it's 4-2. 4-2 for Schoolboy, saying that Larry will have that power, and all of the work that's been done with him and Coach Ray will benefit. And I think that's a very respectable performance for Larry Wheels. If he could pull off that, even a loss, I think that's very respectable.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So that one is locked in. Cannot wait for that one. Cannot wait. Alrighty. The main event. The one that we are after. This is going to be so exciting. We have been absolutely gagging for this match. When Devon even ambushed Michael Todd in a garage and they pulled with Devon's fake grey hair, the world lost it. We all lost it. Anytime these two are on a table, it is fantastic. We have the current you could call him the world super heavyweight champion. He's definitely the hammer holder, the WAL super heavyweight champion. And he is taking on the man that he beat for the title. It is Monster Michael Todd versus Devon Larratt. This is everything we want in an arm wrestling match. They have both been fantastic on their channels, building this match up. It is unbelievable. I cannot wait for this. I have changed my mind, Uncle John.
Uh-oh.
At least 4,672 times about this match. I keep changing and changing and changing. So I'm still not sure who's going to win. I think I've got an answer in my mind, but I'll start with you. How are you seeing this match?
So I started out. I will admit, I've really been playing a game with this match all along. But I came out in support of Michael early on. Michael was looking very good. Michael is still looking very good. Looking like he is on top of his game, in the best shape of his life. He has been training with absolute top-level talent. There is no questioning the fact that Michael is ready to take the match. Okay? With Devon, there's been a ton of questions. There's been questions with his health. There's been questions with his eating. There has been questions with just about everything you could possibly question with Devon. The question has been there. Now, I came out for Michael. I said, it's going to be like, 4-3, because it's going to go the whole distance. It's going to go all 7 matches, 4-3 for Michael Todd. And now, over the last two weeks ago on the Arm TV show with Gary, I switched because Gary is full boat Michael Todd, and I said, I'm switching. It's time to switch it around, and we're going for Devon. And I am officially on Team Devon, so much so that I wrote and sang a rap song about it. By the way, so I am officially on Team Devon. I do believe Devon has what it takes to win this match, and a lot of it comes down to the mental game. I think that Michael has become more savvy to it over time, but I think Devon has done a really good job of identifying the things he did wrong at their last meeting in the WAL. And I think he's really taken a lot of that to heart, and I think that changed him. And I think it changed the way he thought about his training, about how he thinks about arm wrestling. And I really think that Devon wants to put an end to the whole battle, to the whole war. And I do believe he will come out on top. I do believe there is more to his method of madness. Everybody just likes to see the pancakes. They like to see the syrup. That's what they like to talk about. But you got to remember that Devon is going to show us what he wants us to see. Okay?
Of course.
And there's so many other things that are going on, and the way he's training, and I don't have any particular insider knowledge. It's just I've been watching everything Devon does for the last 10 years, right? I've been a major Devon fan for the last 10 years, and I do believe he has what it takes, and I think it will still be a battle. Don't get me wrong. This is going to be a war to beat all wars. I hope it goes 7, and if it does, Devon will win 4-3.
It better go to 7. It better. I don't want this to be a whitewash. I don't want this to just be over quickly and then the last few matches are dead rubbers. This is just going to be unbelievable. I keep changing my mind every time. I'm like, it's Devon. It's Devon. And then, but Michael Todd, his strength has just skyrocketed through the roof.
It's impressive.
He's now been able to take some time off actual work and focus on arm wrestling. He's really collaborated and built his YouTube up. Therefore, him and Rebecca can just hang out and train and things like that. And so I'm on Team Monster. And then I look across the room and I'm like, but it's Devon. It's Devon. It's very hard to pick against Devon. As you said, he only wants you to see, what he wants you to see. This whole pancake thing, but has it gone too far? Has the eating gone too far? He just looks ridiculously big. The belly, he did a nice shot where he stuck his belly out a bit, and that was quite funny. So it's just a matter. The end result will be 7-6. It's going the full this is going forever, this match. And all right, I've got to say it. Once I've made this, I've got to stick with it. I'm going to pick Monster Michael Todd.
Oh my goodness.
Not with any conviction whatsoever. I'm a believer, even though I don't really live by it myself, I'm a believer in a healthy lifestyle and things like that. I like the way Michael's looking, but then again, like I said a million times, it's Devon.
Well, look, there are such a huge variability in the predictions on this match. I see people who are betting their life that it's 4-0 to Devon, and I see people who would bet their life it's 4-0 to Michael, right? It's all over the place, and there's a lot of different reasons that people are making those bets and those assumptions, and some people put a lot of value into certain things about the way Michael pulled Todd Hutchings or Don Underwood in the practice pool, whatever. I don't know if it's going to come down to any of that. I really think that these guys are going to have to go into their own personal hells in order to sum up and to summon some kind of supernatural ability to beat each other. Because if you were ever looking for a match with two superheroes that are going to just blast the hell out of each other, this is where it is. This is as close as it's going to get, right? This is where it's at. So place your bets, ladies and gentlemen, but just know that this is going to be wild. Oh. And if anybody tells you that they've got the answer, it is highly unlikely that they do, because this is probably one of the more unpredictable matches we've had in a while.
Oh, it'll be an absolute shocker. No idea. I have no idea who's going to win this one. Absolutely no idea. I can analyze and watch every single video. And yeah, but if you told me to put my house on anything, I would say I'm going to keep my house and just watch from the sidelines. There's no chance. And anyone that sits there and says 4-0 Devon, 4-0 Michael, tell Uncle John and I why in the comments. Tell us why it's happening. And don't say giant pumpkin or pancake power or things like that. Give us a proper detail. Give us a proper detail, because I'm interested to know those types of people that are really Team Devon or Team Monster Michael Todd. It's just going to be so good. I cannot explain. It's just so good how this match is going to be. So entertaining as well, and I think that's the bit that is going to benefit the sport the most in this match. Devon just knows how to entertain, and Michael is now slowly understanding the game and things like that. He's doing reaction videos to what Devon's saying and joining in the back and forth, and has a bit of banter on his live stream. So he's starting to get it. But can Devon still get in the mind of Monster Michael Todd? You ask the Monster and he'll say, not at all. But that'll be really interesting to be. But as of this stage, it's big props to Michael. Big props to Michael for really upping his game, because that was like my big thing with him all the way along. Is just he wasn't quite getting what Devon was trying to do, and Devon continues to grow in the whatever you want to call it, the troll game or the head games, the mind games, and Michael is doing much better, at least not falling into every single trap that Devon lays for him. Oh, he's done very well. He's done very well. I'm going Monster Michael Todd, barely. Go check out Uncle John's rap. It's hilarious. And a lot of effort was put into it, which I find the appreciation of, but it's quite hilarious. But that is it for part one of the predictions video, guys. Let us know if any of us are right or wrong. Tell us why we've lost our minds, or tell us why you think we are on the money. If you get a chance, head over to my Patreon, sign up, like, share, and subscribe. And once you have finished that, head over to the Uncle John Arm Wrestling Show. Mr. Everywhere, he is now labelled. This guy is on everything, and well-deserved as well. He's doing phenomenal things in the arm wrestling world. And sign up to his Patreon as well. Support him. Do everything you can. Uncle John, thank you so much for joining me on the first part of the prediction show.
Thank you, brother. Happy to be here. Love it.
We'll see you all in part two.